I have a slightly less controversial one. This one's interesting. This one made me think, and I was pretty sure I was right because I usually am. But I had to look into it. That the Titanic was sunk by a solar flare. And the reason they gave behind it was that it knocked out radio and also radar. Now I know that radar was invented just down the road from me, and I was thinking, I'm sure it wasn't invented in 1911. It was invented in 1935 by a bloke just before
Yeah.
the war.
That's where the theory about carrots came from, is because we didn't want them like the Nazis and that knowing that we had radar because we were bombing them and we were hitting all our targets and we shouldn't have been able to see them. So we
Yeah.
put out this fake thing that beta carotene actually improves vision, and that they were supplementing it for our pilots, and that it gave them the vision to order to attack and see
Do
targets at
you
night.
honestly think they believe that?
I think they wrote it out as in I think they put it out not as carrots, but beta carotene, as in like the
Okay.
stuff that's in carrots, and like put out a formula thing and said that they synthesized it into like a steroid type thing. Like, oh, we're giving this pill that we've supplemented, and of course they're gonna be like, holy shit, they got this fucking thing. It's working, obviously. Something's happening. It can't be radar. Radar's fucking crazy idea.
Yeah. But like, to imagine that, but then again, you see, the thing is, the Battle of Britain happened before that, and the reason why the Battle of Britain was won was because of radar.
Mm.
So by the time you guys got involved, the Battle of Britain was out of the way. So the Germans must have had some kind of idea that radar
Yeah.
was working.
When I
Um,
say we, I don't mean just like the United States. I meant the Allies as a whole. I mean,
no,
I
I
think it
know,
might
I
have been
know.
the British that was. It might have been the British that actually said like, "Oh, it's the carotene," and then did that sort of thing. Because I know they did dump a fake body into the ocean
Yes,
with
yeah, I
fake
remember
documents
that.
and stuff like that, and they used magicians to trick the Nazis and the shit. So why wouldn't they?
I
You
suppose,
know.
but I've just got this idea of like Hitler stood there going, carrots, fucking carrots.
Fucking
Here comes
Das Wunder
Gers.
ist Norddeutschland.
Ghost has commented, I've heard the conspiracy that bolrog is actually a Terminator sent from the future to destroy all streamers.
I am. I'll be back. Most definitely. I'm trying to destroy the whole Twitch thing. I think it's a corrupt, an evil media source.
Well,
Yeah.
100%. The other day I was
I
trying
think
to
that would
go
be the end of
around
the first episode.
smaller streamers and like just raid them, like giving them love raids, and they're all just like,
Scared, shitless.
yeah.
Right, the ones that I do are because I just kind of go in there and be like, "Hello, how you doing? You all right?" And they're like, "Who are you? Who are you?" And I'm like, "Geez, I'm just saying
Really?
hello." But I think it's the fear behind it. Maybe I should go on as the Terminator. Yeah, that'd be
Huh.
quite good. I just can't
I've
do it.
had the opposite experience rating people.
Have you?
Yeah,
It-
I go in there like, hey, thanks, it's awesome, and we start having conversations.
I
Like I
mean,
was telling this
I've
other
had
dude.
good ones as well, obviously, but
Yeah,
there have been quite a few that have been like kind of scared of. But I think that's because of the hate raid thing. I think that's what that was.
yeah, you never know. They might have gotten hate rated like right before this, and they're like
Thinking
coming in. They're like,
shit.
oh no, it's happening again.
Yeah.
You
So
know what the
anyway, solar flares and the Titanic.
well, okay, so I think it's much more plausible what they say happened, and basically what it was. They saw the iceberg. They would have been able to see it. The problem is the guy who had the keys for the binoculars
It
for
was
the
rat ass.
watch. No, he left and took the keys with him, and they couldn't get him up. So the people who they relieved him
Fucking
didn't
merchant
have
navy.
yeah,
I
they didn't
can't
have
trust them.
fucking binoculars. And so by the time they actually um saw it or whatever, by the time they actually saw the iceberg, it was too late because they couldn't actually see that it was an iceberg. And for some reason, like I guess they put out the SOS, and the people who heard it didn't take it seriously.
Well, the theory that I've heard, and it's the one I believe, and you can call me a
Mm,
twat if you want to, I'm used
you're
to it. But the theory, the theory that I've heard is that there were two ships. There were a sister ship. Now there was the Olympus and the Titanic. Now the Olympus in dry dock hit something and destroyed the half of it. Now so that they could get the Titanic, now the Titanic hit something and destroyed it. So they could get the Titanic out on time, they swapped the names over. But they no, wait a sec. Let me go back. It's even confusing me. The Olympus had a crack. She was repaired, and they tried to get and they couldn't repair it completely. So what they did, they stuck Titanic on the side of it and sent it out. Now the reason why I think that's And they wanted to sink it basically for insurance reasons because those ships were worth an absolute fortune. The reason why I think it happened like that is because number one, it was a British company, so there's definitely some scamming going on. Number two, all those VIPs didn't bother getting onto it, so they knew it was going to sink. Now, that ship that was supposed to pick them up assumed there was enough boats on board to get them off, so they left it for a little while so it didn't look too sus. Now, by the time they'd drank their Navy rum, they were half pissed and they got over there. Most of them had died because they didn't think it was going to sink that quick. It was an insurance scam, 110%.
I don't think they would have sank it as an insurance scam because it completely ruined the guy's career and like that sort of shit. Like he went under completely.
The only reason it ruined his career was because so many people died. His plan was never to get that many people died.
Thank you for the follow outdoors.
Hey, outdoors, thanks for the follow.
Cheers,
but
mate.
Also, you got. I think it's more likely that the cutting cost and that sort of thing came from the materials because they even said that the bolts of the ship they weren't done right.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Ghost is nominating everyone on the Titanic to do the ice bucket challenge.
I think they did that, mate, didn't they? Hey, poor bastards.
The only thing I know about the Titanic is that Jack and Rose could have easily both fitted on that door. But Rose was just a greedy cow and just didn't want to give him any.
Well.
Mythbusters, they did a thing.
Yeah.
They did a thing about it. They could have fit on it, but the combined weight would have pushed it underneath the water, so they both would have been submerged and froze.
Jack was just being a good Irishman. That's all he was. He was being a gentleman. That's all he was doing. He's a real bloke. They've got his grave. I don't think it happened like that. I don't think.
I think
coconut fruit.
Thank you, coconut, sir.
Hey, cool. I think he thought they would get saved, and if you get saved and you pushed your girl off the boat, she would have been pissed.
Yeah, but she wasn't going to marry him.
Oh no, but she wasn't going to.
She was already married.
Exactly. That was just a bit of rough. That was. Yeah. She was just banging around while she had the chance.
Yeah, but he still wanted the.
Yeah, of course he did, but there wasn't no love there, was there? Obviously, there was no love. He was just happy that he shafted a bird who was a bit richer than him, and she was just happy because she got a bit of rough.
And she stole the necklace.
Exactly, and they got a necklace out of it. No, he did decent. No, yeah, but that was a gift, wasn't it, from the rich husband?
Yeah, but she also said that it got lost and that was gone, and then she kept it.
Oh,
that was when.
Thank you for the alert, Coco.
Ended up throwing it in the water and then dying like an old twit.
Oh, well, didn't the woman die at the end of the movie in real life, and they couldn't film that bit again or something?
I don't know. It's possible. I mean, I have
she
no
was
idea.
old. She was like super old, so maybe that's why.
But I like my question. We should, or my idea I had earlier of having like a Golden Gloves, Golden Girls theme where we come up with theories of who would win in a fist fight. Like my theory earlier of like who would win, the Queen or Betty White.
Betty White, easy.
Definitely.
Also, Ghost is trying to think of more Titanic jokes, but he doesn't think he can sink any lower.
The biggest joke from that film, and I pissed myself when I saw it in the cinema, was when the bloke falls off the back and hits his head on the propeller. I laughed. Everyone else was crying. There's me pissing myself. But it's just good the way he spins in air.
Somebody had to sit with a computer and look, I need to make this look real as possible.
Do you think a body would spin like that? I've never dropped one off.
Definitely.
Hello, babe. No. I gave her biscuits. I've got to feed a cat. She's eating everything.
Cat biscuits.
Yeah, I didn't feel. I just get her biscuits. She'd be all right. But yeah, I've never actually done that. But I suppose it would do. What's that called? Like on a motorbike, centrifugal motion. The head being the heaviest. As he cracked it on there, span it out of control, didn't he? Like a fidget spinner.
Well, what it is, it's the center of gravity is directly at the in the middle of the torso. So if you put enough force into one direction, it's going to spin at that center axis.
That'd be a nasty way to go, though, wouldn't it?
You'd be unconscious as soon as it hit.
Yeah, I suppose. They did experiments on that. I don't know how they did experiments on, but there used to be the idea that you'd blank out halfway. Say, for example, if you jumped out if you committed suicide, which is not a good thing to do, that you die halfway down. But they now say that that's bollocks. You can be alive all the way down.
Yeah, the idea before was like terminal velocity, like the idea of what your body can withstand. Like if you jumped at a high enough height, they would think that as you got to a certain point, like the force of the air against your body would cause you to black out, like the compression on your lungs. But it doesn't do that. We have enough I guess internal air or oxygen to counter the force of the air against us and keep us from passing out.
Yeah, but even if you held your breath, you'd be all right, wouldn't you? Eh? Fucking hell, that'd be horrible. What an
Doesn't take
horrible
that
way to
long.
go. What an horrible way to go. So the solar flares are definitely bollocks then. The Titanic never sank because that. It was just, you know what it was down to? Navy fucking rum. My granddad used to drink Navy rum, 100% proof. They used to get it in the mornings. Now, if that lookout, right, he'd had his breakfast, he'd had his Navy rum, pissed as a
He had his
fart by the time
binoculars.
you get up there. He didn't even know what a fucking pair of binoculars are, mate.
Yeah,
Let
and
alone
he's
how
like-
to use them.
And my whole question was like, okay, so the guy walked off with the keys. That's a key part of your gear for your changeover. Wake the fucker up. Like,
Exactly. Give me my fucking keys, you dickhead.
like
I, I,
seriously.
I think it was there was something going on. I think there was a setup, or it's just pure negligence. See, I know
Yeah,
British
pure
companies, and if
negligence.
there's money to be made out of a scam, a British company would do it. Look at Richard
100%.
Branson. Richard Branson only got to where he was from scamming everything.
Mhm.
He started off selling records on the Camden market, recorded tapes and CDs and stuff. So yeah, I mean, not CDs because obviously it wasn't around then, but you know what I'm saying. It's a scam. In my mind, it's a scam.
Yeah, I think they used hackneyed labor, crappy
Yeah, they
materials.
did as well, but they would have
know.
done at the time. They would because you got to remember it was a race. There was another company that was doing the same thing. I don't know whether it was America, but it was somewhere. It was basically who can get across to New York and back to London or back to the UK in a certain amount of time. So the boats were rushed, and they used unskilled labor to build them. They used cheaper equipment. They didn't even double hull it. They gave it a single thread, a single hull, which is for a
Yep.
boat that size is like putting a piece of tin foil down. You know what I mean? So there was definitely corners
Negligence.
cut, negligence. But I think it was a scam. I honestly think that other boat was renamed, sent out, sank, so they could get the insurance money. That's what I'm going. But it definitely won a fucking solar flare, and it
It was
definitely
just
wasn't.
Jack and Rose's love. It was too heavy for the whole ship to handle, so it just crushed underneath it.
Maybe it was that bloke with a gun. He shot an hole in the side of the boat. Might have been.
I can
Might
see
have been.
that.